In this video, we're going to take you on a journey through some of the oldest historical sites, not just in Turkey, but in the whole world. We'll be visiting ancient monasteries and going deep underground to visit cities carved into the earth. On our first couple days in Cappadocia, we filled our appetite for adventure with horseback riding, hot air ballooning, and ATVing. But now it's time to explore Cappadocia's history. We wanted to see the oldest, the coolest, and the most impressive ancient sites that Cappadocia had to offer. And so that's exactly what we did. We woke up this morning to the sound of hot air balloons right outside our window. It was cool to see it from the other perspective. We had just done the sunrise flight the morning before. We ate breakfast at our cave hotel, and then it was time to set off on one of the two most famous tour routes in Cappadocia, the Green Tour. We started our tour in Pigeon Valley, about 10 minutes out of Göreme. Ancient people in Cappadocia used to build pigeon houses in the soft rocks so they could harvest their droppings as fertilizer.
We've just started our green tour in the Cappadocia region. Our tour guide is just telling us that there's a volcano a ways in the back, and all these fairy chimneys are a result of the multiple layers of sediment settling down and then being eroded away. It's very neat.
So what you can see in the distance there is called Ihlara Castle. It's being hand carved out of the rock, and it is the highest built point in the region.
The next part of our tour took us to one of the most impressive ancient construction sites in Cappadocia, the Selime Monastery. It's carved directly into the rock, and it was started in around the 9th century BC. It was a bit of a climb, but we made it up, even in the midday heat.
We're told this is the largest kitchen. Quite luxury for back in the day.
In fact, this kitchen needed to feed the nearly 5,000 people that lived in the monastery back when it was in use. It's not much of a mystery why they wanted to live here. You just can't beat those views. The next part of the monastery that we visited was the cathedral. I decided I needed to take a bit of a sit down. Then it was time to brave the deep, dark tunnel, which would take us to our next room.
Oh, it's so dark in here.
This tunnel was about 20 meters long, and it wasn't the only one at the monastery. It was riddled with them, all between all the different rooms.
You can imagine how invading troops could not easily get into here or through here at all.
We stepped out into another cathedral? I'm not really sure, but this one had really cool artwork on the wall. Now that we'd seen a church and a chapel, we were certain the next room we came across would be something different.
Go do your prayers.
This is my church. This is
My people. Inside there are my people.
After that, Casey made quite the discovery.
You've got the eyes, the nose, and the angry mouth.
So, after having seen a kitchen, a church, a chapel, and a steeple, we made our way back down to head on to the next part of the tour.
We've just arrived at the Ihlara Valley for lunch. We're gonna walk down and then apparently be driven back up. Thank God. He told us it's a maximum depth of approximately 100 meters and I believe 15 kilometers in total length.
So, we made our way down into Ihlara Valley for what felt like hours, but was really more like 10 minutes. Eventually, we came to the Melendez River, which feeds all the plant life in the valley. It is truly an oasis amidst the browns and beiges that are common in the rest of Cappadocia. Walking along the river, we arrived at the Bellissima restaurant, which has constructed beautiful floating seating areas where we got to have lunch. Our next and final stop was the underground city of Kaymakli. The Kaymakli Underground City was carved into the soft volcanic rock around the 8th century BC. It was constructed so that the locals could escape invaders coming through this central area on their way to Europe or Asia.
You're a little bit tall for in here.
It was the perfect height for Casey, though. In fact, there was a very good reason for the low-hanging ceilings in here.
The tunnels were very small, so the warriors had to derobe before coming in.
This meant no big shields and no armor. And if you can see the way that Casey has to walk through these tunnels, at times the defenders would spear down from the rooftop onto the oncoming invaders.
Oh, the ventilation, that's cool. Oh, sweet, sweet sunlight.
Carrying on in the darkness.
The tunnel continued on for so long that Casey eventually turned into a cave person. But luckily, there was a reward waiting for us at the end of the tunnel.
So it shouldn't cause a problem.
In total, we made it 53 meters down under the ground. While scientists haven't fully explored this cave system, it's estimated that up to 20,000 people could have been living in here at one time. We ended our tour back where we started it, overlooking the Pigeon Valley, and we prepared ourselves to leave Cappadocia and head back to Istanbul the next day.